After accidentally uploading my fic draft instead of a resignation letter, I asked, "Did you see the document I submitted?" My boss said, "Yeah, I saw it." I pressed, "Why didn't you reply? You don't agree?" He went silent. I snapped, "If you don't say anything, I'll take that as a yes. I'll come find you this afternoon." He replied instantly, "That fast?" I said, "Fast? What part of this is fast?" He said, "I need to think it over." 2 seconds later, another message popped up. "Is that okay?" I agreed. Next thing I know, he left work early and gave the whole company a 3-day vacation. I sat at my desk for a long time, deep in thought. Has the company gotten this desperate to keep me? Right now, the whole office was in chaos, all because Luke said, "Clock out, 3 days off." Has the boss lost his mind? My cubicle mate, Kristen, kept refreshing her phone like crazy. I held mine tightly, scanning the room in confusion. So this vacation I scored by resigning, does it count as a win or just plain bad luck? With the economy tanking, maybe the boss is broke and testing us to see who's worth keeping. Looks like layoffs are coming. Yeah. When I went to hand in my proposal earlier, I heard him talking about downsizing. It's definitely happening. My heart sank. If layoffs were coming, I could have scored severance. Is it too late to withdraw my resignation? Whether it's too late or not, I was already standing in Luke's office. Gotta say, the man is ridiculously good-looking, broad shoulders, narrow waist, and that ass I didn't see it today. But based on past observations, it must be a handful. Ahem. A sharp cough snapped me back to reality. What is it? Luke didn't look up, just kept flipping through some documents. I smiled a bit too eagerly. "Boss, did you read the letter I submitted today?" "I did." The cold words slid out of his mouth like ice. I panicked but tried to stay calm. "Well, even if you read it, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to—" "Wanted what?" He closed the file and adjusted the gold-rimmed glasses he was suddenly wearing, smooth. "Of course I wanted to take back my resignation, wait for layoffs, then walk away with a fat severance check. What? You think I'm fantasizing about your chiseled abs under that shirt? Or the way your firm ass sits in that leather chair? Get real. Didn't I say I'd think about it?" Luke finally looked up, his gaze lingering. "Are you in a hurry or something?" "Yes," I blurted out. I took a step forward, closing the distance between us, and emphasized with heartfelt sincerity, "Boss, I really am in a hurry." Luke blinked, startled. A strange blush crept over his ears. "All right, got it. I'll think about it more." I softened my tone. "Boss, there's nothing to think about." Up close, I saw his Adam's apple bob hard. Damn, why did he have to be so sexy? What now? That teasing tone pulled me out of my flustered thoughts. "I've decided to take it back. That letter? Just me messing around. Sent it to you by accident. I never really meant it." Instantly, his brows knit. "See? He made me wait forever for a response, made me chase him into his office, still said he needed to think. Now that I'm taking it back, he lets it go just like that? Don't tell me he actually can't bear to lose me." But sadly, even though working under him was easy, the benefits were great. And let's be honest, he's stupid hot, that's not the point. The truth is, I'm worn out. I've been staying up late writing. My body's been taking a hit, and my side income from publishing can support me now. I just wanted to quit and rest up at home for a while. So why the sudden change of heart? Luke's face was unreadable, voice serious. You guys fooling around, joking with me, that's fine. I let it go. But when it comes to work, he paused. When it comes to work, shouldn't you think it through and see it through? I could tell he'd lowered his voice, probably trying not to scare me. A boss with looks and a heart, how rare is that? I got emotional. Yeah, but what I'll miss the most is you. His fingers on the desk twitched. I added, among other things. Like Julia, who always makes my coffee in the break room. Amir, who brings milk tea for the girls. Juan, who helps out and teaches us stuff. I'll miss all of them. Luke squinted. A lot of guys on that list. You like them all. Not exactly. You've got them beat. Their butts don't even come close to yours. I replied. There are girls too. I like everyone. He let out a cold laugh. Not sure how all these people connect to the file I sent you. But sounds like you've got a lot of options. That's why you're hesitating, huh? Yeah, I said solemnly. Can't just tie myself to one tree. But I also can't let go of this one tree too easily. So I need more time to think. Luke didn't say a word, but his fingers curled into a tight fist, knuckles pale. Clearly, I struck a nerve. After all, he's the boss. He can't just walk away like I can. Even rich people have their struggles. You really are letting me down easy, Luke said, taking off his glasses and putting back on his usual cold, untouchable mask. You can leave now. So, I get it. You don't mean it. I won't take it to heart. Bosses are unpredictable like June, weather impossible to read. By the time I stepped out of his office, the whole place was empty. I checked my phone. A message from the work group popped up. Big butt boss, don't worry, you're free to go. Anyone who's still working now is giving up their vacation. Then came a flurry of replies. Got it, boss. Thanks, boss. And more butt kissing. All sent while I was in his office. He'd clearly been trying to shove people out the door, just like he'd shoved me out a minute ago. Tch, I muttered. No way I'm narcissistic enough to think my resignation alone got us a 3-day break. And don't give me that it's nothing crap. Clearly, he's rushing to use this chance to finalize the layoff list. Kristen also messaged me. Some idiot yanked out my laptop cord in a rush. I'm furious. Mind if I use your computer real quick to transfer a file? I replied with a few memes, saying I was out of the office, threw in a couple digs at Luke, then turned off my phone and began slowly packing. Step 1 to scoring severance. Take back the resignation. Step 2. Get the boss to fire me. Before shutting down my computer, I opened Baidu and searched, How to make your boss willingly. Clatter. The blinds snapped open. I locked eyes with a very angry face. Jennifer, you're casting your screen to mine. Crap! I bolted home and yelled at Kristen 100 times. Ching, you're gonna get me killed! Why'd you use my laptop to sync with the bosses? I nearly branded him with the words, fire me now. Kristen begged for mercy. It wasn't me. I left your computer on in case you hadn't saved your stuff. Maybe someone brushed the wrong key? That was entirely possible. I quickly opened the document. It was just the story I'd written while slacking off. Thank God it wasn't lost. I laid out some snacks and water, geared up to pull an all-nighter and go full throttle. As for the severance plan, I'd deal with that later. Being likable is hard, but making people hate you, easy. By midnight, a chilly breeze blew in through the window. After a string of sneezes, my nose started running. I'd caught a cold again. I went through tissues one after another, the trash bin nearly full. Fighting sleep, I opened my email and sent a message with the file. Pulled an all-nighter, my body aches all over. Think I've caught a cold. I need comfort. My editor and I were close, so this kind of message was normal between us. I waited for the file to send, but it failed. Blinking back sleep, I messaged her again. Still mad at me, baby, from afar? Long story short, she'd gotten a hate mail in the middle of the night not long ago, cried over it for half the night, and decided to never check her email at night again. I probably delayed the submission too long, and she'd forgotten today was my due date, so she hadn't opened it up for me. Yawning, half asleep, I dumped the new draft into her inbox and added a little comfort. Don't be mad, here's something nice to look at. Then I passed out instantly. I didn't even notice the email flood and all the retractions afterward. By the time I woke up, the sun was high and the cold had settled in. Kristen messaged me that the whole company was getting together for a group meal. I declined. Pulled an all-nighter back's killing me. The girls' group chat exploded. Half a day off and you're already going wild? Come out and confess your sins. Betrayed your friends for a man? That intense? Hook me up too. I held my head and chuckled bitterly. I never should have introduced this crew to those novels. All they think about now is stuff you can't say in polite company. My phone buzzed again. Luke had actually messaged me. You sick? Took any medicine? I instinctively wanted to reply, but then I remembered I was supposed to be getting myself fired. He needed to find me annoying, so I ignored him and went back to the group chat. I played a voice message. Yep, still strong enough for another 300 rounds. The girls went wild on the mic, every line worthy of getting censored. I scrolled through, laughing so hard I was rolling on the bed. Once I'd calmed down, I clicked into Luke's chat. Yeah, I'm sick. Took the meds. Message failed. He had blocked me. I shot upright. What the hell? Who pissed him off this time? Brain spinning, I asked Kristen. Is Luke with you guys at the dinner? Kristen. Yeah, he just asked if you were coming. I told him you were so sick you couldn't get out of bed. I sighed. Wow, ruthless much? I'm dying here and he blocked me. Kristen. Wait, could it be the voice message? Maybe he thinks we faked it to mess with him. Me? Kristen. That 300 rounds bit. I forgot to mute and accidentally played it on speaker. I wanted to cry, but as the old saying goes, blessings and misfortunes go hand in hand. Looks like I really ticked him off this time. In for a penny, in for a pound. He already blocked me, so I might as well go all in. I struck while the iron was hot. Capitalists under feudalism don't make money. Message sent. Delivered. Wait, when did he unblock me? I froze, then scrambled to fix it. But you're different. You've got empathy. The top of the message box read, the other party is typing. After what felt like ages, Luke finally replied, No need to butter me up. We don't really have a relationship anyway. What? He even denied we were colleagues now? Could it be my plan was working? Then came another message. Since you're sick, take care of yourself. Let him look after you. I won't message you again. Him? I probed. Who? There's no one at my place right now. Just then, a call came through. Luke's breathing was heavy. wind rushing past him. As the static eased, his voice turned sharp. "Jennifer, what exactly do you mean?" I straightened up in bed. "Mean by what? You said there's no one at your place right now. What does right now mean?" I looked around the room, suddenly uneasy. Diving under the blanket, I replied with a hint of confusion. Was there supposed to be someone? What about last night? Of course not. Silence on the line. I thought hard. 300 rounds. Oh, crap. I blurted out. It was just a joke. We're all adults, you know. That was a grown-up joke. You've known me for years, you know. I'm not like that. Luke. Not necessarily. I heard him sigh, tangled in static. I said, "You have to believe me." He stayed quiet. Explaining all this to my boss was beyond weird. I was about to hang up when I heard a soft voice. "Should I come over?" A strange tingle shot up from my feet to my spine, weirdly itchy. No one was here last night, or now, so technically you could come. But if it's not convenient, don't worry about it. Even if someone was here, he could still come, right? My palms started sweating around the phone. "Luke, I mumbled. "Okay, sure. Maybe he really did have empathy. He didn't hang up the whole way. You feeling that bad? Why aren't you talking?" I thought for a bit, then muttered, "Eyes on the road. Talking to you matters too." I froze. My heart jumped, skipping a beat. I wrapped myself tightly in the blanket, scared he'd hear it. Silence fell. Memories flooded in. I was one of the first employees in the company, but all these years I'd never seen him bring a girl around to meet us. By all logic, someone like him, kind, handsome, fit, should be a total catch. Why was he still single? "Luke, do you even know how to date?" Nothing. You never had a romantic college fling or anything?" "No." "Really? I don't believe that." Luke chuckled. "What are you trying to ask?" "Nothing. Just where's your hometown? Is it far from here?" "Running a background check. It's nearby. Want to visit?" Were we even that close? I poked my head out and sneezed, then curled back into the blanket. "Luke, you're acting weird today." "Am I?" His tone was clearly lighter. He was in a good mood. Which was odd, considering how moody his earlier messages were. A man's heart truly unfathomable. Snuggled under the soft covers, I started to feel sleepy. "How long till you get here? You're so slow." "Forget it. Don't come. I don't feel like getting the door." Luke laughed again. "Then I'll hurry up." Maybe it was the cold messing with my head, but words just tumbled out. "When you asked if I'd taken medicine earlier, I did reply, but you'd already blocked me. That's why I lashed out at you. I'm not usually like this. Honestly, you're a really good boss." Half asleep, I suddenly remembered years ago, back when the company was still small, Luke once took a few of us old employees out for a client dinner. He called it a business dinner, but it wasn't really. He never let the female employees drink. We were just there to fill seats, to keep the other company from thinking we were too small to take seriously. Later, he landed a big deal, and we all went out to celebrate. I was the product presenter and gave a whole pitch at the table, but the other boss didn't seem too impressed. I figured he was waiting for me to bow and offer him a drink, that old unspoken rule. Whatever. I told Luke not to worry and raised my glass. I gave a whole toast full of flattering words, finally earning a smile from the guy. But then he crossed a line, slid his hand around my waist. In an instant, Luke pulled me behind him and laughed it off. "She's allergic to alcohol. I'll drink for her." The man's face dropped immediately. That deal fell through. Worse, the guy held a grudge and started squeezing us out in the market. Things got so bad Luke couldn't even pay us. A few of us sat by the roadside, silent. No one said anything. We all blamed ourselves. Luke blamed himself even more. I knew he felt guilty for letting that guy touch me and not even getting the deal. That guilt was part of why he always took extra care of me. So I reassured him. Ordinary people are bound to take hits in life. I came here right after graduation, the youngest in the company. You took me in. Luke, if it weren't for you, I would have suffered a lot more. We talked for a long time that night. We believed a better day would come, and it did. To this day, with company benefits and holidays, Luke has never shortchanged a single employee. That's why everyone panicked at the mention of layoffs. But no one cursed him. He'd earned the title of good boss. How could I not be at least a little moved by someone like that? But mostly, I was just scared. He was always gentle with everyone, and I worried I wasn't special. Someone timid like me could only be bold in the stories I wrote, bold enough to be a little rogue, to lust after his good looks. Anything more? Out of the question. The sound of a quick gear shift hit my ears. Luke had sped up. I told him, "No rush. Drive safe." Open the door." The doorbell rang right after. I got up and opened it. A tall figure stood there. "You made it?" He wore casual clothes, but they did nothing to hide his perfect ass. Luke's eyes stayed on me, lips slightly upturned. The air felt thick with tension. I reached out to let him in, but he grabbed my hand and pulled me toward him. Warm hands wrapped around my waist. I looked up. His other hand slowly slid into my hair, fingers locking behind my head. My heart pounded like crazy. Where was this going? Still not feeling well? I'm okay. Why's your body so hot? It's warm under the covers. Wanna try? Crap, I was delirious again. I stammered, "Not like that. You just came in from the cold. You can warm up on my bed if you want." Luke couldn't help but laugh, raising a brow at me. No, I didn't mean you should sleep with me." Cool lips silenced me. He held my waist firmly, pushing me back until I hit the entryway wall. He tightened his grip, our bodies flush, heat rushing between us. I couldn't bring myself to push him away. He cradled my hand against his chest, our fingers laced. His torso was burning. His body pressed down on me, hot and overwhelming, and the tension grew. I've got a cold. It's fine, Jennifer. Breathe. Just as things reached a fever pitch, my phone buzzed like crazy, breaking the moment. I snapped awake and shoved Luke back. His eyes were ringed with red, gaze wet and full of frustrated longing. Voice calls came one after another, but Luke didn't move, still holding me close. I wriggled one hand free and checked the caller ID. Baby, my editor. I panicked and hit decline. I could not answer that call. Who knew what bombshell she'd drop about my scandalous stories? "Why aren't you answering?" "It's nothing. Just pick up." "Really? It's fine." Luke leaned in again, his eyes darkening. "Baby?" I stared. We weren't even together, and he's calling me that? You two close? Oh, he meant my editor. Close? Of course we were. We were war buddies who'd spent countless nights passionately discussing our characters' sex lives. But I lied. Not really. Barely know her. I had to protect my wholesome image in front of Luke, especially after that dirty joke got me blocked. If he found out what I wrote, who knows how he'd look at me. Luke let me go, his eyes level with mine, dim and unreadable. Really? I panicked but stood my ground. Met her online, saw her photo. She looks kinda cool with short hair. Luke's gaze grew darker. I added, she said her name was Baby when we first talked, but we haven't stayed in touch. She's probably calling to borrow money. Luke glanced at the screen and sneered. Borrowing money? What a loser. I nodded quickly. Right? He blocked her and told me to rest, then went to the kitchen. I hurried back to my room and unblocked my editor. But strangely, all our chat history was gone. I must have been half asleep the other night and instinctively cleared it. I didn't think much of it and rushed to explain what happened today. After that, she messaged, then you'd better speed up that layoff plan. Get your severance and start writing for me. I froze. I'd almost forgotten. But we were literally making out today. One kiss and you're done? Girl, you've fallen for him. So you kiss him, then ice him out just to get fired? That's cold. No. Who said getting laid off means you have to annoy the boss? Use your brain. Didn't you say he's already thinking about layoffs? Just go tell him you're exhausted, your body can't take it anymore, and ask to be let go. Done. Worst case, just admit you took back the resignation to get laid off and collect severance. Say you need the money for medical bills. Tie it all together. All those mind games were because you were just an employee and couldn't say it outright. But now, it's different. That's true. I shut off my phone and sprawled out on the bed. All this trouble for a severance check. In my novels, the heroine schemes with the boss to avoid getting laid off. Meanwhile, here I was scheming to get laid off. Same setup, different fate. Once I sorted everything out, my head stopped hurting. My back didn't ache anymore, and I felt completely refreshed. A knock came at the door. Luke stepped in carrying something. Have some soup first. Then take your medicine. He told me not to move, scooped a spoonful, blew on it gently, and brought it to my lips. He was being so tender it was unreal. I obediently drank each spoonful while boldly tracing his face with my eyes. What are you looking at? You. He smiled, then cleaned up the empty bowl. Then he knelt by my bedside and held my hand. We looked at each other for a long while before his gaze grew more intense and sincere. I came here a bit impulsively today. I didn't explain much before kissing you. But I think you must feel something for me too, right? My mind flashed back to how I lost control earlier. My face burned. Jennifer, I've liked you for a long time. Should we give this a try? That straight-up confession hit me like a truck. I didn't hesitate, caught it with ease. Yes. Luke, I like you too. During the 3-day break, Luke truly made the most of it, coming over every day, cooking, giving me medicine. One evening after dark, he gave me a reluctant goodbye hug. I grabbed him and sat him down on my bed. After a long pause, I finally brought up the serious topic. Luke, I need to tell you something. He kissed my hair. Go ahead. I took a deep breath, my voice growing softer. Maybe you should lay me off. His whole body stiffened. His arm around me tightened. His voice came out hoarse. You like that kind of thing? I looked up and accidentally brushed his Adam's apple with my nose. I sat up, wrapped my arms around his neck, and kissed it gently. I've been meaning to say it. Luke's breath grew ragged. His warm hand slid down my back to my waist and gave a gentle squeeze. Our bodies pressed together again. The sensation between us made me tremble with embarrassment. His hot breath tickled my ear. Jennifer, I can't let you go. Your turn to take charge. Huh? Take charge of what? Weren't we talking about layoffs? But before I could think, the world spun. Luke shifted positions, grabbed my ankle, and pressed my toes to his firm abs. I froze, breath growing heavier. He leaned back, exposing his upper body, his words even more seductive. Jennifer, do it yourself. I forgot all about the serious talk, eyes half closed in admiration. After a kiss, I got bold. My toes traced a circle on his abs, then slowly moved downward. Luke let out a deep groan, losing all reason. Jennifer, a little lower. Both feet use both. One steamy night later, desire had sliced away Luke's hearing. I clearly said lay off. Lay second tone in Chinese. No, you said step on me. Just after we woke up, I asked Luke if he'd thought more about the layoff. He looked baffled. When did I ever say I was laying people off? Now we were sitting on opposite sides of the bed, both deep in thought. So, what you're saying is, you wanted to quit, but overheard some gossip and assumed layoffs were coming. I corrected him. Not wanted, I already submitted my resignation. Luke looked even more confused. But I never received anything from you. That's impossible. I jumped out of bed, opened my laptop, and searched his inbox. Look, here it is. You even downloaded it and still claim you never saw it. You need to be punished. I smacked his butt. Smack! Luke grabbed my wrist, pointed at the screen. Open it. Fine. I opened it. She gently closed the door, stepped up to President Jiang, and her knees gave out as she fell into his arms. Her delicate hands trailed from his Adam's apple down past his collarbone and abs. President Jiang, I can't take it anymore. Let your staff go home. Wait, this was my fic. It's graphic, but not bad, Luke said, though I liked that one part better. Bang! I slammed the laptop shut. Luke turned, smirking. What? I didn't even show you which part. Show my ass. Luke, could you step out for a minute? My face cycled through yellow, red, and green. He smothered a laugh and backed out slowly. I locked the door and reopened that cursed laptop. In a fit of rage, I hit delete. Save changes? Cancel. Restore. 20 pages, 2 days of slacking off couldn't go to waste. I checked every folder on my computer and felt my heart drop all over again. Not only had I sent him that file, but I'd also sent him the new draft meant for my editor. The kicker, they had the same profile picture, even the same name Adrian. I messaged Emily. Your name's cursed, she replied. It's fine. I switched to a guy's name so foreign readers would stop sending me hate mail after reading the fic. Boo-hoo. Me, bad luck. Her. Updated my avatar, screenshot. I opened Jihu and searched again. Accidentally sent fic to my boss. Not just once on multiple platforms. Each version was different. What do? Sauce! The post exploded, comments flooding in. Girl, maybe switch planets. I can't even bring myself to read this. Boss, why does she keep sending me these? Is she dropping hints? Post the original first. Then I'll help you troubleshoot, thinking Jape. Here's something funny to cheer you up. Flip's image. waiting for updates. If you're selling merch, at least finish the story. Same. Kick me till I'm dead. Sidebar, is the boss hot or some greasy old uncle? I replied, hot. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, perky ass, good face. Already got him, feeling kinda guilty now. Came for the follow-up, stayed for the juice. Love it. No way, girl. You really scored, eating this good? While I basked in the glory, I kept scrolling anxiously until finally I found a useful comment. Use the fic to train your boss. The original poster went quiet, but others jumped in. No wonder you're thriving. Dumb luck or destiny, that fic is basically a guidebook. Translation. Write more and let him read it. Use him like a tool for your own pleasure. A light bulb went off. Genius. Because of all the layoff rumours and confusion, I hadn't quit, and Luke ended up calling a meeting to clear everything up. Turns out the whole thing started because Luke misunderstood my fic. He thought I was hinting at him. So he got confused, called someone to ask, and while explaining the plot point about layoffs over the phone, a staff member overheard. The good news? The misunderstanding was cleared up. The better news? He gave us a raise. The office celebrated like it was a holiday, but a few people had learned about my resignation attempt and came over to check in. If you're not feeling well, rest up. Boss is easing our workload anyway, we've got your back. Looking at all those concerned faces, my heart softened. Yeah, without you, who's going to keep our fiction resource group running? I knew it, they were just addicted to my talent. I wrote fanfic exclusively for overseas sites. It wasn't available domestically unless you found the translated foreign editions. I did it all writer and translator in one. I was the spiritual breadwinner of the entire office. If I'm not the office mum, then who is? You rest up, go do something serious. Someone shoved a fat stack of papers into my hands. I flipped through it. Every single one was raunchy. Meanwhile, all the proper office files were swept off my desk. I looked up and saw a few girls throwing seductive winks my way. You don't need to do grunt work anymore. You're made for big things. I nodded, dazed. This English major finally got her moment of glory. As for quitting, forget it. I was doing the same stuff at home anyway. After being tired for so long, I could finally move around. My phone buzzed. Big butt boss. Jennifer, come give me a kiss. I grabbed the freshly printed docs, marched into his office, face completely serious. Boss, here's the new proposal. Please read it carefully. Luke looked down at it. Why can't I make sense of this part? Want me to walk you through it? I strolled to Luke's side and accidentally twisted my ankle, falling into his arms. Why is Secretary Jennifer so clumsy? Oh, I'm a secretary now. I pouted. I'm just tired today. Luke leaned on his hand, his voice playfully cute. But there's only one chair. Maybe Secretary Tang should just sit right here. He patted his lap. I hesitated coyly, then sat down. Which part doesn't make sense, President Luke? This one. He pointed. Kiss. What does that word mean? I don't quite get it. Could Secretary Jennifer give me a demo? I gave a flirtatious smile, wrapped my arms around his neck, and kissed him. Lately, under my diligent guidance, Luke had become obsessed with all sorts of role play. After unlocking every possible scene, I hit a creative wall and took a break. That's when I called in a pro. Baby! I finally met my editor in person. Her name was Emily, a true icon. An editor who fed her readers erotic trash like it was gourmet. She even shaved the back of her head bald one summer because it was hot. And somehow she was still incredibly cute, wild and sweet all at once. "Brought you something good?" she said, patting her full backpack with mystery. "You're gonna love it. So will your man." Luke and I took half a day off just for this. I told him not to come over. But him? "Why not? Tired of me already? Got what you wanted, now I'm disposable? Haven't I improved lately? Need me to bring over a couple's comforter since the night's getting cold?" Me, quit it. After smoothing things over, I welcomed Emily into my place. She unloaded a suspicious pile of items like a thief. I blushed furiously. Who gives these as first-time meeting gifts? Bed toys galore. Starter pack for training your boyfriend handcuffs. When the time comes, strap one end to the bed and the other to his wrist. Emily then launched into a full-night, passionate lecture. By the end, my face was burning and I hadn't slept a wink. I took another day off. Luke said he wanted to come over, and I panicked, kissed, cuddled, and video called him on repeat. A friend's visiting. I've got to keep her company. But Luke was stubborn. What kind of friend keeps you from seeing your boyfriend? Teach me how to explain your kind of friend, Emily. I forced a smile. Come on, she's super socially anxious. Just wants to hang out for a couple days. Once I tidy up the place, you can come over, okay? On camera, Luke looked so wronged. You two even messed the place up. Jennifer, don't you think you're being a little unfair? I was hit where it hurt. He was right. Whenever he came over, I always scolded him. Careful, don't make a mess. Mainly because I hated cleaning. I'd been too harsh with him. That was unfair. I tried to comfort him from afar. You're right. I'll reflect on that. I've decided from now on you can mess around as much as you want when you come over. Luke pressed his lips into a line. Didn't look happy at all. Jennifer. Emily had found something else. She called for me. I told Luke I had to hang up. He lowered his phone deliberately. Camera aimed right at his waist. I flushed instantly. That devil. Why'd he have to tease me when time was tight? Touch me real quick. He obliged, even tugging his waistband down. His veins stood out vividly. I squealed, covered my mouth, and dove under the blanket with phone in hand. In the darkness, Luke's voice trembled faintly. Jennifer, does it look good? I peeked out, just my eyes showing. It does. Can you go a little lower? The camera suddenly shook, cutting off the show. I panicked. Don't move! I can't see! He rolled up his waistband and dropped a bomb. Premium content. I'll pay. Cash only. Pay up front. Bastard. Whatever. Go entertain your guest. I'm going to shower. Wait. Now I was the one panicking. Showering in the middle of the day? Who's at your place? Luke raised a brow and did a fast spin with the camera. No idea. You better come over and check. Luke must have learned that move from someone, say something spicy, and then hang up, leaving me stewing. Jennifer, are you coming to rescue me or not? I heard Emily weakly calling from the living room. I rushed out of the bedroom. I've been yelling for 10 minutes and you're just now showing up. I was seeing stars. What are you even doing? Self-bondage? DIY disaster? No, these handcuffs are way too real. I thought I could shake them off, but they're solid. These aren't for lovers, they're for criminals. I smacked her hand in frustration. Hold on, I'll find the key. 1 hour later, we sat in silence. Where's the key? No idea. Can't find it. Now what? My brows burned with fury like a third eye about to open. I texted Luke, "Don't wait up," then collapsed onto the couch. "You show up at the airport tomorrow like this, and people will clear a path. You might even get through security faster." Emily rubbed her nose. "Using public resources like that would be so embarrassing. How was this idiot the best performing editor in the company? None of your other authors ever call you dumb." "Dumb luck, sweetie. Every one of my books is a bestseller." In the middle of the night, I hailed a cab and rushed to the fire station with her. The guys on duty didn't say much, but every one of them had a smirk playing at the corners of their mouths. Finally, one of them said as we were leaving, "You two girls should probably stick to safer games." "Okay, fine." Another day, another lesbian couple added to the city record. Emily hooked her arm through mine, grinning sweetly. "Got it, Uncle." I finally saw her off. Even as she was boarding her flight, she kept giving me heartfelt reminders. "Once you two hit it big, buy yourselves a private jet." "Then do it in the sky." Beep, I hung up. She had no shame, but I still did. With someone like her, how could I ever let her meet Luke? I'd be afraid she'd stand at our bedside in the middle of the night, analysing modern couples' bedroom behaviour. I jabbed at the screen hard. "If I ever make it big, the first thing I'll do is ship you to Bouvet Island to be a lighthouse keeper." Emily, "Send me a 6'1" guy with pecs, abs, and a big ol' ass while you're at it." She's hopeless. I got home, tidied everything up, stashed away what needed hiding, then rushed to the office. Downstairs, I messaged, "Luke, guess where I am?" "No idea." He sounded a little cold. "That's okay." I had ignored him first. "I'm coming up now. Straight to your office." Busy. That bucket of cold water hit me hard. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." My heart clenched. I didn't go to his office. I quietly sat back at my desk. I felt down the entire afternoon. I watched as co-workers got called in to give their reports one by one, except me. I sent him a cute little cat sticker. No reply. I stared at the blinds. He happened to glance my way, then immediately closed them. I sat like a stone all afternoon. When it was finally time to go, everyone left one after another. I stood up, looked at his office. Still no sign of him. He probably didn't want to see me. I slowly typed, keeping my tone cautious. "I'm heading home now. Don't work too late. Take care on the way." I sniffled, grabbed my bag, turned off the lights. In the hallway near the elevator, footsteps echoed, and my heart thumped in sync. 1 step, 2 steps. He finally stopped beside me. I kept my head down. "Nice shoes?" Suddenly, a wave of grievance surged up in me. My eyes welled with tears. Ding! The elevator arrived. I didn't move. He'd upset me. I didn't want to ride with him. Together. Luke grabbed my hand with authority, laced our fingers tightly, and pulled me into the elevator. I felt even more wronged. "So you can ignore me when you want, but when I ignore you, you get to touch me?" I flung his hand away. As soon as the doors opened, I darted out. Not how I'd imagined it. His footsteps were slow, leisurely, totally unbothered. I looked around helplessly. The huge garage didn't have a single sign of my car. I slowed down. Behind me, his steps grew closer. "Got a car now?" Luke's voice teased. "You think I can't afford one?" "What kind?" "A Dee ride." I spun around and stormed back. I heard his chuckle. In 2 quick steps, Luke caught up and grabbed my hand again. I glanced at him sideways. "What? Weren't you giving me the cold shoulder?" "Because I was mad." Then why are you holding my hand? I'm just mad. Doesn't mean I stopped loving you. Luke stayed quiet the whole way, jaw clenched. His shirt was unbuttoned down past his collarbone, probably on purpose, trying to get me to talk. But I wouldn't. I turned my head. Look at me. His tone left no room for refusal. I shivered. The moment we got home, he pinned me to the door and kissed me till my knees gave out. Luke, let's go to bed. Please. I clung to him, kissing his eyes, his nose, his lips, voice softer than ever. But he just passed the couch, the kitchen, the table, ignoring me completely. Jennifer, stop calling that person baby. Okay, I won't. No other babies either. Only you. What about that one? The super hot online baby, the one you chat with all the time. His breath grew heavy. It felt like he was really about to punish me. I started crying, Luke, I hate you. Why can't I call a girl baby? Luke spent the whole night trying to calm me down. I was still mad. It was just too ridiculous. He had really thought my baby was a guy. You were always acting shady when you mentioned her, like you were sneaking around. Not totally my fault, right? He obediently massaged my back. I sighed. I wasn't trying to hide it. It's just what we talk about. Can't exactly be shown in public. So I spilled every detail I could. The misunderstanding was finally cleared. I'll go change into pajamas. Hey, wait. Too late. Luke had already opened the closet. All the toys were on full display, gleaming innocently. He froze, then slowly turned around. I covered my face and sank into the covers. Is this part of your friendship too? I poked my head out to explain. I'm straight. So is she. Luke smirked. So what should I do? Can't just reject her heartfelt gift, right? And from then on, the Emperor stopped showing up to court. The training sessions never stopped again.